Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Demons Within Us, a mental health podcast where we talk about the demons of our mental health and the lies that they tell us, and more importantly, the blood and the tears that we shed every single day going through this mental grind. It is not easy to wake up every morning and hate your life. It is not easy to go to bed when you hate your life. Because for me, when I was going through it, hating my life and hating myself and going to bed was a terrible thing. I stayed up all night because I knew if I went to bed, I would have to face another day of hating myself and my life. And going through that is not easy at all. I've been there. So before I continue, my name is Knock Knock Neo. I'm your host for this podcast, and I'm an active listener. And I've been active listening pretty much my whole adolescent life, but I guess it became official in 2017 when I knew what I was doing was a thing. So a little bit more background of myself. I'm just a person who's just been through a lot. And I went to school actually for psychology, and I took, not really for psychology, I just had an interest in psychology, and I took pretty much every psychology course that I could take while I was in school. Didn't really know, thinking that it was going to take me to another path, not in psychology, funny enough, but I actually ended up learning a lot about myself. And given all the experiences that I've had, I was able to use the knowledge that I've had in school and use them for myself to make myself better. I've had more help, of course. It wasn't all school. I've had, you know, counselors and psychiatrists and stuff like that to talk to, to help me, because this journey is not something that I can do by myself, and I don't suggest that you should either. Um, so yeah, like I said, I'm just a person who is just willing to help. I think I have a certain set of skills that can help people. I believe I have the knowledge to help people too, and I really hope it helps you as much as it helps me. So for those of you who want to follow along, I pulled up the active listening definition on Google, and according to Wikipedia, active listening is a technique of careful listening and observation of nonverbal cues, with feedback in the form of accurate paraphrasing that is used in counseling, training, and solving disputes or conflicts. That is essentially what I do. I first started off as an active listener, officially as an active listener on a website called Seven Cups. And Seven Cups is a great mental health chat website for those who need help and who want to help as well, who just, want to be there for people because they've been through things themselves, such as myself. So if you want to follow along on my Seven Cups page, here it is. I pulled it up. It's sevencups.com/ the @ symbol knock knock neo. And here you can see pretty much everything you need to know. So you can see my ratings, you can see my reviews, you can see the last time I was active, you can see how many people who believe I've helped them, how many people I've actually talked to. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you can see all the great things that people have said about the help that I've given them. So like I said, I really hope that what I help you, the information I give you really helps you. If you are struggling, I hope this helps you. If you know somebody who is struggling and you're listening because you want to help, I hope this helps them. I hope this helps you to help them. I'm hoping that I can learn how to speak a little bit better as I go along with these episodes, because stuttering isn't cool. But anyways, um, so let's get right to it. All right, so the title, open quote, when you give, don't expect anything in return, close quote. Is this thing really applicable in real life? I have heard this thing so many times by people, but is it really applicable? I have given my 100% to my friends, quotes, friends is in quotes, being helping them in assignments, accompanying them when they're going out, engaging with them so they don't feel left out, or fixing out their problems, but I never got anything in return. I was thinking about this in quarantine. Since this time is the true testament of who is really there for you. Is it wrong if out of 10 times I can hope for at least one time any one of them texts me asking if I'm okay? Am I being selfish? Because it looks like people just chew me up and spit me out when they don't need me for their comfort. Okay, this is a really great topic to talk about because I really think that a lot, most people, if not all, will go through this at some point in their life. Most likely, probably as teenagers, when we want to develop a social circle, when we want to hang out with friends, when we want to have friendships, and we don't want to, and we believe that having a social life is important. When you're a young adolescent, you don't want to be stuck home on a Friday night. You know what I mean? You want to have friends to call you out. So I get that. I've been there too. you know so to answer your first question, when you give, don't expect anything in return, is this thing really applicable in real life? Yes. Second question, am I being selfish? No. Those are the short answers. But the long answer is that when you give, don't expect anything in return, it doesn't apply to your friends. You're confusing one thing for another thing. So when you give, don't expect anything in return, that really applies to the greater good. When you contribute to the greater good, you don't expect anything in return. So when you volunteer your time at a hospital, when you donate money to a cause, when you see a homeless person, you want to get and you buy them food, when you see an elderly person struggling with bags of groceries and you want to help them, you carry their bags of groceries for them, to their across the street or, to their place because, it's a lot. Those things are acts of goodness or kindness that contribute to the overall greater good, right? And doing those acts is really a reward in itself, which is why you don't expect anything in return, because the good feeling that you get knowing that you've contributed to good in the world is a reward in itself. That's why you don't really need to expect anything in return. But what this person is doing is what they are using the giving to the greater good, trying to earn their friendships, right? And I don't recommend this, to be honest with you, at all. I don't really think this is the way to go. And the reason why is because those things, like I said, are not the same thing at all. So to contribute to the overall good is one thing, but to continuously be there for your friends, for what is the person doing, helping them in assignments, accompanying them when they're going out, engaging with them so they don't feel left out, or fixing out their problems, or whatever it is that you do out there, people of the world, whatever it is that you do for your friends, what you're doing when you're around people in general. Okay, so backtrack a little bit. When you're around people, you're constantly, especially when you're friends, you're constantly, it's really a reflection of who you are as a person. So what you're doing here is, when you're doing all of these things that you're helping out your friends, then you think you're just helping out. What you're doing is that you're showing your value as a person, right? And what you all seem to be doing is, what they value and what you're showing your value is, what you're showing your value to be is it's the reliable person. That's just what you became because you were always there. Oh, let's call so and so, he'll do it for you. Or let's call so and so, she'll tell you, she'll tell you that, or she'll give you this, or he'll give you that, or they'll buy you this, or whatever, they'll take you there, or they'll help you with this, or whatever. You no longer become a person. You become a resource. You see what I mean? So you've actually downgraded yourself from a person to just a resource that can be used. And you are worth so much more than that. So much more than that, right? So I hope that that's not what you're doing is just showing how valuable you are, in that way. I'm hoping that you're showing that, for friends, if you want friends, show that you're more than just a resource. Show that you're funny, you're handy, you're a good listener, you're knowledgeable, you can pick someone up when they're down, or anything, but you need to show them that you are more than just somebody that they can use when they need help. You see what I mean? So there's actually two perspectives that you can take from this. So the first perspective is, if you are genuinely this person and you are not feeling, so if you're genuinely this person, as in you're constantly giving, you're being there for your friends and whatever, whatever, and you are not feeling exhausted, or you're not feeling used, or you're not feeling chewed up and spit out, you must be some sort of superhero for real, because that's almost superhuman altruism or superhuman giving, to be able to just do that constantly and not give anything in return. Because love like that, love like that, it just, it needs to be replenished. It's not um an infinite well. You know what I mean? It's just not. That's just not the way it is. So you need to find your self-worth. And to be honest with you, if you have people like this in your life that you are demonstrating your kindness to, and you're not getting anything in return, make new friends. Period. I'm sorry to say it. That's what I would do in my books. You need to know your self-worth, people. Know your self-worth. Know when you are being used. If you got the hookup and people are only asking you and calling you up because you got the hookup, get new friends. You need to be more to these people than just a hookup. You are more than just a hookup, and you need to be treated that way. And you need to recognize that you need to be treated that way. So to be honest with you, you're not being selfish at all. These people seem to be self-serving, which is not a bad thing. I'm not going to lie to you. Being self-serving is not totally a bad thing. Being self-interested is not totally a bad thing. It's more of a survival thing. It has a negative connotation because it means selfish, but self-interest to me in my books personally, it just means it's like a survival thing. I need to be self-interested to survive, because if I'm not interested in myself, who's going to be? When everybody else is trying to make sure that their needs are attended to. What about my needs? If I'm not being self-interested, who's going to take care of my needs? You see what I mean? So you're not being selfish in asking them. You're not being selfish in hoping that people will text you to see if you're okay. But if it gets to a point where they're not, you need new friends. You need to find friends who recognize what kind of a person you are. Like, this seems like a really great person. You're constantly helping, you're accompanying them when they're going out, and this, that, and the third. Like, you need friends who appreciate that. And if you don't appreciate that, find new friends. Up your self-worth and find new friends who will do that for you. And get that love reciprocated. Okay, people of the world? Now, the second perspective is, if you are helping out these people, doing whatever it is that they call you for, and this is not who you are, then you need to stop doing that, because essentially what you're doing is you're using kindness and reliability and all that stuff as a tool to manipulate, right? I don't know people out there, if you've been there out there in the world, but it's happened to me. I've had people in my life who show me how nice they are. They've showed me that they can be there for you. Oh, I'm there for you. Whenever you need somebody, I'll call. Da 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 da. And once I rely on them, or once they feel like they got me, quote unquote got me, they'll switch up. That's usually, I think that's more of a toxic kind of thing, or maybe a narcissistic, like a toxic narcissistic type of personality. They'll show you, a really great facade of an upstanding, outstanding individual, and when you get closer to them, they shed all of that, and then they become just something that you never thought they would become. You get to see the monster that they really are. Okay, so if you're a really great person and you're genuinely helpful and you're not getting the love in return, get new friends. If you're not this person and you're just using all of these good deeds to curry favor and manipulate people to get them to like you, you need to just, to be honest with you, I hate to say it, but you need to be more real with yourself and just stop that, because that stuff is just not cool. Using kindness to manipulate people is just not cool. And people can usually see right through that, or they can feel the energy behind that. They can feel the manipulation, you know, and you're, it's just not a good way to go. It is just not. That's really all I can say about that. Okay. And I think, am I ready for the next question? I think so. Okay, next question. Not much to say except I was socially awkward before COVID, and now I feel even more self-conscious. I went out to see a comedy show with my friend from work, and one of the performers was another friend. I feel like I feel like I am not really close with either person, but also they're really nice girls. I just feel awkward as hell about how I act around other people, and I get home and ruminate over it and can't sleep. I feel like when I don't say things, people think I'm a weirdo, and when I do say things, people are secretly thinking she needs to shut up. Am I the only one? It sucks. I feel so self-conscious like no one likes me. Okay. Um, to answer your question, am I the only one? No. You are definitely not the only one. I can tell you that right off the bat. And what you're doing is you're judging yourself. That's really what you're doing. So, you're in a situation. Okay, so, where do I start with this? Okay, so you're at a comedy show, you have a friend beside you, and you have a friend on stage. You're not saying anything, and you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, thinking, do I need to say something? I haven't said something in a while. Do I need to laugh? Was this, well, it wasn't funny. Oh man, why did I laugh? It was so off key. Or, oh man, why did I say this? I never should have said that in the first place. I never should have said this in the first place. Now it's weird. You know, you are putting way too much pressure on yourself. And when you don't do the things that you think you should or should not be doing, you're also judging yourself. So when you go home, so this person, what do they do? I get home and ruminate over it and I can't sleep. You are judging yourself way too hard. If you're doing that, you're just really killing yourself, to be honest with you. It's just a mind job. And that's just one of the demons of the mental health that I'm talking about. This is the demon of self-judgment, the demon that says, why didn't you say this? Or why did you say that? Oh, why just now it's weird. Oh, you did all this and it's just so much. And then you can't sleep because of it. No, the only thing that you need to do is just let yourself be you. Be organically you. Stop judging yourself. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to perform or to not perform or whatever, and just be you. It needs to be organic because people can feel it. People can feel when you say something just to say it. People can feel when, or maybe they can see it when you want to say something, but you don't. You have sort of have a look on your face like, oh, I don't want to say something. Well, you kind of like, you kind of cower or whatever. Like some people can read that kind of stuff, right? But people will always respect somebody who is just themselves. Always. And that's the advice I'm going to give to this person. Just relax. You're judging yourself way too hard. All the things that you think that these people are saying, like, oh, this person needs to shut up, or this person's not saying enough, or why is this person not saying anything? These are all just in your head. And it's really a reflection of yourself, right? You think that you feel like these people are thinking these things about you. But it's really just you feeling the way you feel about yourself and just projecting it. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. So for this person in particular, be more gentle on yourself. Don't force yourself to perform or don't hold yourself back if you feel that you don't want to. Just be you. And it just needs to come from a place of love and honesty. And things sort of take care of themselves over that. Let's say you said something and it was organically you and it was weird. That's still okay. It may have been weird, but you don't feel as bad when it's weird especially if you know that it was just unapologetically you, because that's even more important. Because the weirdness will blow over. Your friends who know you, they'll just be like, "Oh, so and so is just so and so," and it'll just blow over. It's not a big deal. So you're just putting too much pressure on yourself. Okay, so you need to stop judging yourself and just be more gentle with yourself and just be you and be okay with that. Okay, learn to be okay with that. Eventually you will. When you start to just relax a little bit and things just start to come out organically, you'll see that it's not as weird, or your social awkwardness, it'll temper away. It'll get better over time as you what you call it, as you genuinely open up more. Okay. I think that is all for today. Yep, I just try to keep it at 20 minutes, 2 questions normally, because it's a lot. It's a lot, but I'm gonna keep going. Not today, just over time in general. So if you want to email me, you can email me at knockknockneo, YT as in YouTube, at gmail.com. If you have a question, or if you want me to, if you have a situation that you want me to go over, you need another perspective on, and if you are not okay with me sharing it in this format with the video, for example, then please say so, because if you don't say so, then I'm going to assume that it's going to be okay to share this with the rest of the world, because I really believe that what I have to say will help people. And the reason why I'm doing this over video is because when I was on Seven Cups, and when I'm on Reddit, I just feel like it doesn't reach enough people. You know what I mean? I know Reddit has a big user base, Seven Cups has a big user base, but YouTube, I think, has an even bigger user base. And I'm just trying to help out as much people as possible. And you sharing your question or your concern with other people is a great way to help other people, because you are not alone. You are never alone when it comes to mental health. I assure you, you are not. And I really think that, if I can help you, then I think I can help other people who are also sharing a similar problem to you. If you want to chat with me directly, you can do that as well. Sometimes you have a little bit more than just an issue and you need that one-on-one, feedback in real time. You can contact me at premium.chat/knockknockneo. You can contact me there as well. And I think that is it for today. Yeah, I think I said all I had to say. Until next time, please take care of yourselves always, and love yourself. Take care.